Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me and my friend Jessica. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks for having me, Shemaine.
Well, so Jessica, I wanted to introduce you to everyone here, and I wanted to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk about health and faith. So tell us a little bit about you and your business and what you do.
Yeah, so my husband and I are co-founders of the Higdon Group, like our last name, and we are partners in a software company where we do education and mindset training and sales training around social media, mainly for network marketers and home business owners, and we've been doing that for the last 10, 12 years now.
And you have two little kids, adorable. Like they are the most beautiful children I've ever seen.
Aw, thank you. It's a good thing too, because they drive us crazy, but they're sweet. We love them. Yeah.
So how is it challenging for you as a business owner and a mom? And what do you do to find sanity, to find peace in that chaos?
You know, it's not perfect. And people always ask me about balance, and Ray and I realize this, that we don't really balance day to day. We balance year over year. And so we find that we go in seasons. And so we were talking earlier, actually off camera, about the season that I'm in right now. You know, for 12 years, I really pushed forward building our business. And there was a time when Ray and I had to go to Dollar Burger night. So when you got to hustle, you got to hustle, right? So we, you know, for the past 12 years, I've been really pushing to build this business, and it's now taken off and is doing great. And so we have little children, and I finally got to the place where I said, you know, it's okay to pump the brakes a little bit and be in the season of just enjoying life and your children, because like we talked about, you don't get that time back.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that if you are somebody who's maybe in the thick of it right now, and you're a mom or a dad and you're building your business, or you're trying to hit that next goal, whatever that is, just look at balance year over year. And if you're in a season of hustle, go for it, but know that you're going to allow yourself that time to be with your kids and enjoy your life.
And how does your husband, how does he feel about you kind of pumping the brakes a little bit?
Well, he's amazing. And I feel like most men, if you give them the opportunity, their number one priority, if they're a good man, is for you to be fulfilled and happy, for their wife to be fulfilled and happy. Sometimes we don't realize that. Sometimes we take that for granted, but he's like, whatever you got to do, as long as you're happy, I can actually produce better as long as you're happy.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Now, how challenging is it for you to put your health first when you've got two little kids? I had one at the time, so I know how hard that was just to juggle with one child, but how about two and taking care of you? Is that, how do you deal with that? How do you make that a priority?
So I'm a big believer in you time block. So I have at least 30 minutes. So sometimes that's all I have is 30 minutes to spend one-on-one time, like playtime with the children. But I'll tell you, if I get that 30 minutes in, they are so happy that it's uninterrupted, no phones. And for lack of a better term, they kind of allow me to do them my self-care. So that for me is priority number one. Like in the morning before school, I'm giving them that one-on-one time. Then I have the opportunity throughout the day to block that time to fit in dance. So I do dance at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
And I just brought on one of our friends to do some fitness training at the house. So it's all about leverage, right? And nowadays, there's so many options. Like you can do it virtually. You can do it in 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there on apps. Like there's so many options for you. So
you can literally go on to whatever, YouTube or whatever, and plug in, I want to do, you know, a HIIT training. For those of you who don't know, high intensity interval training for 10 minutes that focuses on abs, or, you know, you can get spot on. So I think that is one of the good things about the pandemic this past year, is that it's taught us to become more resourceful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what Tony Robbins says about that. He says, you don't lack resources, you lack resourcefulness if you're in a struggle or situation. So, absolutely.
So how important is faith in your life?
It's everything. And I will tell you, I wasn't always that way. So when I was, I think I was right around 5 or 6 years old, and I had been, no, it was older, maybe 8 or 9. I had been going to church my whole life. My mom was very faith-based, and my dad didn't believe in anything, and he still doesn't to this day. And so he told me at a very young age that there is no God, and when you die, and there's no meaning to this world. And so that was like,
were you scared? I mean,
as a little kid, I was terrified.
So what was your mom saying?
She was the exact opposite, like, don't listen, and it was tough. It was a battle in my mind for a while because, we absorb so many things when we're little. And then I just had this amazing experience where I was actually, and it has to do with Ray, I was actually, due to my own self-sabotage and some childhood trauma and things that I had been through, I was actually getting ready to leave him. And it wasn't, and he's amazing. Like, he's an amazing man, just self-sabotage, I guess. And I packed up the car and I put everything in the car, and I'm about to drive away. And this voice, as clear as day, and I felt it in my heart, was like, if you do this, your life will never be the same. And it was so strong and so positive. I had to follow through on it and just keep understanding what that was. And then that guidance eventually led to amazing business life, as well as it almost saved my life months. I was almost kidnapped.
Really?
And felt that guidance. And I believe that everybody has the ability to hear God within them. But some people have just mastered it and attuned it more than others. And so if I astray from that, if I go an opposite way from my heart and my gut, which is God talking to me, I believe, then it always ends up being the wrong path. But if I follow my heart and I follow my gut, even if it doesn't make sense up here, it usually ends up being great.
If you find peace through making some choices that you're not sure about, but if they bring you peace and comfort, and what I've always thought is that if it's right with God, if it's right with my family, if it's right with my country, if it makes the most sense, like, should I grow a garden? Yes, that benefits everybody. Should I, X, Y, or Z? And finding that peace, I think, is the most important thing in life, because, people look at you and you're beautiful and you're successful and you have beautiful children and everything's great, but they never know what is going on the inside.
It's so true. And like I said, there was a point where I was burnt out, and especially throughout this pandemic, it really pushed me towards God and faith. And I think it has for a lot of people, because, there's a song out there, I forget who sings it, but it says in the song that the real way to test your faith is for it to be tested every single day. So our faith has been tested these last few years, and it's pushed me more. And I can say now that I'm happier than I was pre-pandemic, just from following that faith and really understanding that there's more to what we see.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Bible verse?
Yes. Psalm 37, verse 23, 24. And it says, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. He delighteth in his way. He may fall, but, oh my gosh. I have it written down. He may fall, but,
I think I have it here.
He will not utterly. Virtually what it says is
the steps of a good man are ordered
by the Lord. He delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not utterly be cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. So virtually what it's saying is that you have the power to choose where you go and what you do, from that heart center, from feeling the Lord within you and understanding in your gut that there are places you should go, places you shouldn't go, things you should do, things you shouldn't do. And if you're a good man or woman and you're heart centered, you may fall, you may have ups and downs.
We pretty much will.
Yeah.
We will all struggle. And I think that's, for me, what I see in that too, is our struggles when we do fall, we got to get back up. And that's what brings us closer to God, is when we, are seeking him out. And this past year, you mentioned with the pandemic, it's brought so many more people closer to God. I think that's the one good thing out of this. Don't you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you will fall. You will have those ups and downs. But if you just keep following your path, like you said, being at peace, that's why I love that so much, is it really shows you from a higher level that we are all on a higher path than we know. And so when you're challenged, there's a reason you're being challenged. And I struggle with this a lot, because there's a lot of people who are challenged in ways that I can't even understand. Being so blessed for the country that we live in and the world that we're in and where we are. But if you understand that whatever you're going through, no matter what, has a higher purpose, so that you understand that you are going into his light, he's pushing you towards him, then you literally can't fail. You can't fail.
I love it. I never thought that I would be talking about what I'm talking about on social media and posting things about my spirituality and putting myself out there. But the more that I do, the more incredible positive feedback that I get, and the more peace that I feel that I'm doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's an incredible opportunity for all of us to get closer to God during those difficult times and what we're all experiencing right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And how can people follow you?
So Instagram at Jessica Higdon 99. I'm on all over. We're all over social media. So just search our name and you'll find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thanks, Shemaine.
All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next time.